Welcome to the Friday edition of the Snooze here at LonghornStation.com with Ahmad Brooks. I'm John Medani. Typically on Fridays, we review our NFL picks, survey the swing games, and debate those here for you. And there are 5 games that we happen to see differently on this week's NFL schedule. Starting with your alma mater, former team, however we want to call it. New England is traveling to Rich Stadium to take on the Buffalo Bills. Who you like, sir?
Let me start by saying, man, you whipped me yesterday. You whipped me last week. We had 5 swing games last week. John took 4 of those. Bad week for me. I need some help here. And I think I'm going to get it from my Buffalo Bills, who are trying to not only save their season, but to save this franchise. Let me explain something to you. Being a Buffalo Bill, you hate New England. New England is struggling right now. There's some things that's going on that could be cracking the foundation of one of the best sporting franchises in the last decade. The Buffalo Bills are going to find a way to get in that crack. They get the W in Buffalo.
I don't doubt any of that. It just won't be Sunday against New England. Randy Moss is going to catch 37 passes for 4,113 yards. Come on. Randy Moss has heard for a week about how he was jaking it, dogging it, doesn't want to play, jealous of Wes Welker. This game's over at halftime. Next up, we got Atlanta taking on the New York Jets. Jets need this one. They still have an opportunity to secure a playoff bid, and they're doing a great job of running the football. It's amazing they tried to anoint Mark Sanchez as the future of this franchise. He is boy wonder. He's our next quarterback. He gets hurt. They start to struggle. They go back to running the ball and defense. Running the ball and defense, which Rex Ryan, you know to your heart, you should have done from day one. Jets are playing very well right now. Atlanta's just all beat up. They might have their quarterback and running back Turner and Ryan ready to go, but Jets are playing well.
Ryan has laid the foundation for this New York Jets organization, and I think that's where the problem lies. Atlanta's going to run the football. I took the mark last year from John. He talked about Burner Turner. We all saw what he did in San Diego. Hadn't been the best year for him. I think a lot of teams have done everything they possibly can to stop the run. I don't think they're going to be able to stop him. And in New Jersey, it will certainly, not New York, because they're not in New York, by the way. It's just an old Buffalo Bill saying that. I think it's going to come down to a rushing game, and I think Atlanta has the edge here.
Third game that we see differently is Green Bay at Pittsburgh. This is a 3 o'clock game. Now, it is on Fox, because keep in mind in the NFL when you have conference games, the road team's network gets the broadcast. So it's Green Bay at Pittsburgh. The game will be at Fox, 3 o'clock start. Very interesting. You might think to yourself, Green Bay is favored in this one, but they're not. The Steelers are actually a 2-point favorite. How do you like this one?
I don't like the fact that the Steelers are favored. By the way, my Super Bowl pick hasn't worked out for me. Green Bay's playing good. They have the top defense in the league, and I think that's the reason why they're going to win, and that's the reason why the Pittsburgh Steelers won't win, because a best defense a year ago, their best player is missing, and they just don't have the same juice without Polamalu in that lineup. Ryan Grant has a big day. He goes for over 100 yards.
Here's what I know. I know I'm not good enough at picking games to make a living like they do in Vegas. There is a reason the Steelers are favored by 2 against this Green Bay team. I don't know what it is, because Green Bay is the better football team. They're on a little bit of a roll. They've won 5 straight since that 4-4 start. Green Bay should go into Pittsburgh and win this game, but they're not favored. There's a reason. I have no idea what it is. I'm taking the Steelers. I don't know exactly what it is. Maybe it's just being at home at Heinz Field. I'm taking the Steelers. Washington and the Giants, that is the Monday night game live from FedEx Field. Boy, we don't even know who the coach is going to be. There are reports, not only do they have Bruce Allen, the new GM, but now they're in negotiations with Mike Shanahan. He might be the head coach before Monday night's game, but for now, Jim Zorn has the Redskins playing pretty well. They're averaging 30 points a game in their last 3. The Giants are giving up 30 points a game in their last 6 or 7. Sounds simple enough for me. It's a Monday night crowd. This is the Super Bowl. Brian Arakpo gets 2 sacks on Eli Manning, and the Redskins shock the world and get a win on Monday night.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Washington, this is an organization right now that has a lot going on, and it's tough to play through these types of situations. I remember when I played in Buffalo and Greg Williams was on the hot seat, and you see it in the paper. It affects you as a player because you don't know if the guy who brought you in or the guy who's keeping you there is going to be on the sideline. So I think that is going to affect them. Yes, they played well, but that's because they were trying to keep his job. With the hire of Bruce Allen, he's all but gone. I'm going with the New York Giants as they put the nail in the coffin for Jim Zorn.
Last but not least, a game that you can hear starting at 6 o'clock Saturday night right here on AM 1300 The Zone. The Dallas Cowboys in a must-win situation try to snap a 2-game slide, go to New Orleans, and knock off unbeaten Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints? I think it's your turn to go first.
Dallas Cowboys is who I'm going with, and let me just say this. This is the fan in me talking, but sometimes you're right. And the reason why I think we have a shot is because of this stable of running backs that we have not used. It's lopsided when it comes to carries. Felix Jones and Tashard Choice, more importantly, are not getting the touches they need. Tashard Choice, 8 touches in 4 games. Not good. They need to do better with that. Jason Garrett, be the better offensive coordinator on that day. I know that's a huge challenge for you, but with those running backs, it's easy. Hand them the ball, Garrett, okay? And the Cowboys have a shot here, I think.
It's funny that's how you say that. I'm actually turning it the other side. Let's see, refresh my memory now. The head coach of the New Orleans Saints is Sean Payton, and Sean Payton was in Dallas as the OC with Bill Parcells. So he has a little bit of an idea on the defensive personnel.
Oh, and offense.
A little bit of an idea of who's strong, who's weak. It's funny, we're all talking about how the Cowboys need to run the football. I think the Saints are going to give the Cowboys a dose of their own medicine. We're all talking about Drew Brees throwing for 1 billion yards. The stat nobody understands is the Saints are a top 5 running team in the NFL this year. I think the Saints are the ones who are going to saddle it up and hurt the Cowboys' feelings. I think they're going to run the ball for a lot of yards. The Cowboys are going to be backing up, trying to determine where Drew Brees is going to throw the ball, and they're just going to hand it off for 5 yards a pop. I think the Saints win this game running the football. Pedestrian stats for Drew Brees, a pedestrian win for the Saints. They're not going to look like Super Bowl contenders, but I think at the end of the day, 24-14, 24-17, decent showing, but I just don't think I don't think the Cowboys have enough to beat the Saints.
Tony Romo, he's going to make a big one. Last final drive. It's going to come down. I think he's going to be the better quarterback on Saturday, by the way.
Romo has 5 touchdowns and no picks in his last 2 games. Okay? He's playing okay.
That's fair. Just saying.
That's when he hurts you. Just when you get comfortable.
I thought it was supposed to start in December.
Check out Ahmad Brooks tomorrow, Saturday night on Fox Sports Southwest. He is part of the broadcast team calling Abilene versus Katy. Be sure to check out our boy, and then we'll see you back on Monday morning. The wake-up call live from Whataburger out in Cedar Park, 183, also known as Bell Boulevard, just south of 1431. Come register for that trip to Pasadena. Ahmad Brooks, John Medani. Have a great weekend. LonghornStation.com.